Not everyone who loves knows how to speak the language of tenderness out loud. Some people do not confess, do not rush, do not dramatize, do not post their feelings for the world to admire. Instead, they hide behind calm faces, ironic smiles, cold replies, busy schedules, and carefully controlled distance. They may leave your message unanswered for hours, pretend they are unaffected, change the subject the moment emotions come to close, and act as if love is the one territory where they must never lose control. But this is exactly where the great paradox begins. Some of the people who seem the most emotionally unavailable are the ones who love with the most frightening depth. Their feelings are not weak. Their feelings are so strong that they scare even them. These zodiac signs do not open the door to their heart quickly, because for them love is never just flirting, chemistry, or pretty words. Love is risk. Love is exposure. Love is the possibility that someone will see their most vulnerable side and walk away. That is why they hide, test, observe, retreat, and sometimes even behave in ways that seem confusing or contradictory. They may care in silence. They may protect instead of confess. They may criticize when they are worried, disappear when they are overwhelmed, or act colder the more important you become to them. And that is what makes them so hard to read and so unforgettable once you finally understand them. These are the 5 zodiac signs who wear masks in love. They are not heartless. They are guarded. They are not indifferent. They are afraid of what happens when their soul begins to belong to someone else. But once they let you in, once they believe you are safe, loyal, and real, they stop resisting their own feelings. And when that moment comes, the person who once seemed distant can become the most devoted, loyal, intense, and life-changing love you have ever known. Scorpio. Scorpio rarely falls in love lightly, and that is exactly why they hide it so fiercely. This is one of the signs that can look completely in control on the outside while a storm is happening inside. A Scorpio may act distant, unreadable, even slightly dangerous when they begin to care. They do not flirt carelessly, and they do not reveal emotion just because the moment is romantic. In fact, the stronger their feelings become, the more cautious they often act. That is because Scorpio knows the true price of attachment. To them, love is not entertainment. It is surrender. It is trust. It is giving someone the power to wound them in the deepest possible place. And Scorpio would rather be misunderstood than emotionally exposed before they feel absolutely certain. This sign hides feelings behind silence, sarcasm, emotional control, and a habit of watching everything. Scorpio studies people before opening up. They notice tone, timing, consistency, and loyalty. They remember what you promised, how you treated them when you had nothing to gain, and whether your words matched your actions. If they ignore you sometimes, it may not mean they do not care. Sometimes it means they care too much and are trying to regain power over emotions that already feel stronger than they expected. Scorpio hates feeling vulnerable in front of someone who has not yet proven they deserve access to their inner world. How do you understand that Scorpio cares? Watch what they do, not what they say. They may not give you a sweet speech, but they will remember details you forgot you ever mentioned. They will quietly protect you. They will become alert to your moods. They will notice when something is wrong before anyone else does. A Scorpio in love may test boundaries, but they also begin to make you part of their emotional radar. They watch over what matters to them. Their love is not always soft at first, but it is intense, observant, and deeply loyal. If they begin asking personal questions, if they allow longer eye contact, if they reveal even one secret they never tell others, that is not a small moment for them. That is a crack in the armor. Why are they afraid of falling in love, proposing, or getting married? Because Scorpio does not fear romance itself, they fear betrayal, humiliation, and emotional dependence on the wrong person. They are terrified of choosing someone who will handle their heart carelessly. Marriage, to Scorpio, is not just a beautiful ritual. It is spiritual exposure. They want certainty. They want devotion that can survive temptation, boredom, conflict, and time. They delay not because they are incapable of commitment, but because they understand the weight of it better than most. They do not want a temporary bond dressed up as destiny. Capricorn. Capricorn is one of the most misunderstood signs in love because their feelings often arrive disguised as restraint, practicality, and emotional self-control. They are rarely the one making dramatic confessions, writing impulsive messages at a M, or throwing themselves into romance without calculation. Capricorn often seems like the person who keeps everything measured, structured, and dignified. They may appear distant when they are actually deeply interested. They may sound formal when they are nervous. They may continue focusing on work, responsibilities, and plans even while their heart is slowly attaching itself to someone in a way they cannot easily stop. Capricorn does not reveal emotion quickly because they do not trust chaos, and love always begins as chaos. This sign often hides behind composure because they were never meant to love carelessly. Capricorn needs to feel respect before they can fully feel safety. They are not impressed by loud passion that burns fast and disappears. They want something that can survive reality. That is why, when they start caring, they may become even more serious, more careful, and more reserved. The more important you become, the more they begin thinking about consequences, future risks, family dynamics, financial stability, timing, social differences, and whether this love can truly become a life. To some people, this looks cold. In truth, Capricorn is often the one thinking most seriously about you while pretending to be the least affected. How do you understand that Capricorn cares? They begin investing in you in quiet, concrete ways. They show up. They become reliable. They solve problems. They make time despite an overloaded schedule. They remember what matters to you and try to improve your life in practical ways. A Capricorn may not flood you with emotional speeches, but they will think about your future, include you in their plans, and make space for you in a life they usually protect very carefully. If they start checking whether you got home safely, asking about your goals, supporting your work, or trying to become useful during your difficult moments, that is affection in Capricorn language. Their love often sounds like responsibility because to them responsibility is one of the purest forms of devotion. Why are they afraid to fall in love, propose, or get married? Because Capricorn knows that real commitment changes everything. They take promises seriously, and that seriousness can make them slow. They are afraid of choosing wrong, building with the wrong person, losing years, damaging their reputation, or tying themselves to someone unstable. Beneath their calm exterior is often a person who fears emotional failure more than they admit. They do not want a beautiful illusion that collapses under pressure. They want a partner who can build a life, not just create a mood. That is why Capricorn may delay confession, delay labels, delay proposals, and act as though feelings are less important than timing. But often it is precisely because the feelings are so important that they move carefully. Whom do they let into their heart? Someone mature, patient, respectful, and emotionally steady. Capricorn does not open to pressure. They open to consistency. They need to feel they can admire the person they love. They need trust, self-respect, and the sense that the relationship will not turn into emotional chaos or childish games. The one who reaches Capricorn is usually the person who never forces vulnerability but quietly earns it. Over time, Capricorn begins to remove the mask. Their dry humor softens. Their guarded silence turns into late-night honesty. Their strict self-control gives way to tenderness that is unexpectedly deep. And when Capricorn finally loves openly, it is powerful because it is chosen, not impulsive, not accidental. Chosen, they become incredibly loyal, protective, generous, and committed. The person who once seemed emotionally untouchable becomes the one who stays, builds, supports, and loves for the long road. Virgo. Virgo is one of the hardest signs to read in love because their feelings rarely arrive wrapped in softness. They do not always look romantic when they are falling. In fact, they can seem more observant, more reserved, more critical, and even more emotionally careful when someone begins to matter to them. This confuses people all the time. Many mistake Virgo's caution for indifference, when in reality it is often the first sign that their heart has become involved. Virgo does not know how to love recklessly. They notice too much, think too much, analyze too much. While other signs may rush into the sweetness of a new attachment, Virgo immediately sees everything that could go wrong. They imagine misunderstandings before they happen, future pain before it arrives, and disappointment before they have even fully admitted they care. That is why Virgo hides behind intelligence, self-control, humor, busyness, and an almost constant need to keep things normal. They may act like your advisor instead of your admirer. They may help you, correct you, worry about you, and quietly improve parts of your life without ever saying what is really happening in their chest. Virgo often expresses love through usefulness before tenderness. They want to be needed before they dare hope to be adored. They are afraid of looking foolish in love, afraid of being too much, afraid of giving their heart to someone who will only enjoy the attention without understanding the depth behind it. Virgo does not want temporary fascination. They want meaning. How do you understand that Virgo cares? They begin noticing every detail of your life. They remember your schedule, your stress, your weak points, your dreams, your habits, even the things you once mentioned in passing. They may not write poetry, but they will ask whether you ate, whether you slept enough, whether that meeting went well, whether the problem with your family was resolved. They become attentive in quiet, almost invisible ways. They try to protect your peace. They offer solutions. They become irritated when you neglect yourself, not because they want control, but because your well-being begins to affect them personally. A Virgo in love often becomes more involved than they realize. They may still act composed, but they are already carrying you somewhere in their thoughts. Why are they afraid to fall in love, propose, or get married? Because Virgo knows that love requires imperfection, and imperfection terrifies them more than they like to admit. They are deeply afraid of making the wrong choice, trusting the wrong person, or entering a bond that becomes emotionally messy, unstable, or disappointing. They fear promises that later feel false. They fear not being enough. They fear choosing someone who does not understand commitment at the same depth. Marriage to Virgo is not just romance with a ring. It is daily life, emotional labor, loyalty, habits, crises, responsibilities, and shared reality. They hesitate because they are already imagining the weight of all of it. Whom do they let into their heart? Someone gentle, patient, intelligent, emotionally clean, and sincere. Virgo opens to the person who does not mock their fears, who respects their pace, and who sees love in the things they do rather than waiting only for words. They need emotional safety. They need honesty without drama. They need someone who understands that behind their composure is a very tender heart that has never learned to trust quickly. Aquarius. Aquarius often hides behind the brightest and strangest mask of all, detachment. They can talk for hours, make you laugh, fascinate you with their mind, be near you constantly, and still leave you wondering whether they actually feel anything deeper. This sign has a remarkable ability to create connection while protecting the most vulnerable part of themselves from exposure. Aquarius often seems emotionally independent, untouchable, or difficult to define. They may disappear into their own world, suddenly grow cooler, or avoid romantic seriousness right when things start becoming real. But this does not mean they do not care. Very often, Aquarius cares so much that they instinctively pull back the moment they feel their freedom, inner balance, or emotional control is at risk. Aquarius is afraid of being emotionally trapped, misunderstood, or forced into a script that does not fit their soul. They hate fake intimacy, emotional pressure, and relationships that begin to feel like cages. That is why they often hide behind wit, unpredictability, friendly distance, and a casual attitude that makes it difficult to tell where you stand. They may speak freely about the world, the future, their ideas, their dreams, even their unusual beliefs, but remain strangely quiet about their most personal emotional fears. Aquarius can act as though love is simple, while privately feeling overwhelmed by how deeply one person has begun to matter. How do you understand that Aquarius cares? They begin making space for you in the private world that almost no one gets to enter. They share their real thoughts, not just interesting ones. They let you see their contradictions. They start seeking your opinion, sending you things that remind them of you, returning to conversations with unusual consistency, and staying connected even when they do not have to. Aquarius in love often reveals affection through presence, intellectual intimacy, and emotional trust disguised as friendship. They may not become dramatically sentimental, but they begin choosing you over their usual distance. And for Aquarius, choosing someone again and again is one of the clearest confessions possible. Why are they afraid to fall in love, propose, or get married? Because they fear losing themselves. Aquarius needs love that allows breathing space, growth, individuality, and truth. The idea of commitment does not scare them as much as the idea of becoming emotionally controlled, predictable in a dead way, or trapped in a role that kills authenticity. They are also deeply afraid of disappointment. Aquarius often dreams of extraordinary love, but because they secretly want something rare and soul level, they become cautious when ordinary romance begins, making big promises. They do not want to enter marriage just because it is expected. They want to feel that the connection is real enough to survive honesty, difference, time, and change. Cancer. Cancer may seem like an unexpected sign on this list because people often associate them with emotion, softness, and sensitivity. But Cancer is one of the zodiac signs most capable of living behind a mask when love has wounded them before. Yes, they feel deeply. Yes, they need emotional closeness. But that does not mean they show it easily to everyone. In fact, Cancer can become incredibly guarded when they truly care. They may hide behind moodiness, jokes, withdrawal, passive behavior, or sudden emotional distance. The more precious their feelings are, the more frightened they may become. Cancer knows how painful attachment can be. They know what it means to hope, nurture, imagine a future, and then feel rejected, unseen, or abandoned. That is why they often protect their heart with layers. Their tenderness is real, but access to it must be earned. Cancer is one of the signs most likely to pretend they are fine when they are feeling everything at once. They may not confess directly. They may wait, hint, retreat, test, and hope you will understand without making them say too much too soon. Sometimes they ignore because they are hurt. Sometimes they become cold because they are scared you have more power over them than they plan to give. Sometimes they withdraw because their feelings are growing faster than their confidence. Their mask is not indifference. Their mask is self-protection. How do you understand that Cancer cares? They begin nurturing you, even before they admit anything. They worry. They remember what comforts you. They become emotionally responsive to your mood. They want to know whether you are safe, whether you are eating well, whether something is weighing on your heart. They create little forms of care that feel almost domestic, almost intimate, almost like home. Cancer, in love, will often give before they confess. They will soften around you, make you part of their emotional world, and start imagining continuity with you even if they never say it aloud. If they become hurt by your distance, jealous of your inconsistency, or unusually quiet after emotional confusion, it often means you matter far more than they wanted to reveal. Why are they afraid to fall in love, propose, or get married? Because Cancer does not want a love story that breaks their spirit. They do not fear commitment itself, they fear giving everything to someone who will not protect what they were given. For Cancer, love quickly becomes emotional home, and the idea of losing that home is devastating. They can delay proposals or resist deepening a bond because they are terrified of choosing a person who feels safe at first and careless later. They crave marriage, but only if it feels emotionally sacred. They do not want to build a family with someone emotionally absent. They do not want beautiful promises without warmth, loyalty, and true closeness behind them.